Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Giver podcast. We're back this week with the OGs, Courtney and I.
Hello, guys. We are back. We are back. It is a Saturday. We are in the studio recording.
Poor Courtney is like going into work on a Saturday and like trying to figure out this new setup. And she said she can hear like a pin drop on the mic right now.
Yeah, you guys, like I hear myself breathing. So I hear, do you hear that, Mel? Like, do you hear all?
No, it sounds very normal to me. Like what it's recording, what it's picking up, it's not crazy. I just hear your voice.
Oh my God, this is so annoying. Like I hear myself like swallowing.
Maybe just put the mic a little further away.
Okay. Is this better? Can you still hear
Uh,
me?
yeah.
Okay. We're just going to
I
roll with that.
I'm assuming that Raw is fancy and they purchase like extremely sensitive, high quality mics, and that's what's happening. I don't really know.
I don't either, but this is intense. So if you guys can hear like me like sniffling or breathing like extra weirdly, it's the mic situation. It's picking up on like me even going like this to my sweatshirt. Like I hear it. It's fucking weird.
It's okay.
But
It'll be
anyways,
fine. How are you?
I'm good, Mel. Okay, so I don't know what you want to talk about today, but I kind of wanted to talk to you about wedding stuff because you were
I
married.
was gonna bring it up.
Really? Okay, you guys,
Yeah.
this morning, fucking Mel sends me a link, just a link, and I click on it and it's like this beautiful, beautiful dress. I wouldn't like wear it down the aisle,
Mm-mm.
but like it would be like a rehearsal dinner or like whatever. It's stunning. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is perfect." And I fucking bought it on the spot. And Belle's like, "Low key, I love like wedding fashion." And you're like so good at it. Like you just know like what is classy and beautiful. And I just literally bought this dress like online. It's stunning. But I wanted to talk to you because like I said, you're married. And I feel like I've talked to quite a few people who have been married. And I've like, since now we're starting to plan our wedding, I've been asking questions like, not what do you regret, but kind of like, what would you have done differently?
Mm-hmm.
What did you like? What did you not like?
Mm-hmm.
What would you have changed? Whatever. So I even asked Iain because I saw him this past weekend
Mm-hmm.
in Tennessee. And I'm like, so like, what would you have done differently? He's like, honestly, I loved our wedding. The only thing I would have done differently is I don't know if I would have had as many people there. You guys had like 100 people, right? Something like that, a little
I
over.
I think we had no, I think we only had like 84, which is small for a wedding. And
Oh, I
it's
thought you had
that's
like
like
100.
that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah. And he's like, it was just hard because like Melissa and I, obviously people are coming for you guys. And he's like, we had to like go around and be like, thank you for coming. Like, and obviously you do that at a wedding. He's like, but I just don't feel like we had a lot of time for ourselves.
We didn't
Like,
spend any time together.
which is so sad to me.
No, the only time we spent together was when we were literally standing in front of everybody saying our vows.
Yeah. And he's like, I would
And
have done that differently. Like,
it's so funny because like my favorite part of my wedding was 100% my vows.
yeah.
And the wedding planner was like, and this is like a sign that it's not right. You know what I mean? The wedding
Yeah.
planner was like, after your vows, make sure you go hide in a room together so you can have a minute together. And we were like, okay, like we didn't even think about it. We were like, she's
Yeah.
trying to give us a minute together. But like, that's a sign that you're not going to see each other. And your wedding is like about you. Like, it's
Yes.
supposed to be about the couple and it ends up being about everybody else. It ends up being about your family, to be honest.
Yeah. And honestly, like, Christopher and I, like we've talked about, are going like more of a small, intimate route. And I'm pretty excited about that just because I want it to be about him and I. And honestly, everyone I talk to, man or woman, the one thing they say they wish they would have done differently is, and granted, this isn't for everyone. I'm sure there's people on the podcast listening like, no, we loved all 200 people there. It was amazing. But they wish they would have downsized. Like, I even just had a conversation with my therapist and she had like 25 people at her wedding. And she's like, honestly, I would have cut it in half. I'm like, what? She's like, half the people I still don't even talk to anymore. And I got married like 2 years ago. I'm like, really? She's like, "Yeah." And I get, like, seasons of life and you go through different friends and change, and I get that,
I
but
mean, you kind of do, but, like, the people that I still talk to today are the
yeah,
people that I would have had at my wedding, and those are the
yeah,
people that I also had talked to for years before my wedding, and
right,
I could have done that core group of people and, like, my relatives that I know, that I keep
right.
up with, you know what I mean? And, like, obviously aunts and stuff like that, and still had it been, like, maybe 30.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
realistically, like, I mean, I didn't invite that many friends other than my bridal party. I had, like, a
Yes.
few girls that I worked with at Lululemon, and, like, I mean, I could have not had them. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. I still talk to I still only talk to one of them. But, like, she wouldn't have been, like, devastated if she wasn't invited to my wedding. We would still
Yeah,
be friends. It's not like that. There's just different levels of relationships, and I find when you have a wedding, you think that everyone that's in your life or ever has been in your life as a couple has to be there,
yeah,
like, and that's not true. Like, if I'm
yeah,
standing and committing myself to Iain and, like, people are watching and have absolutely no context of what we're saying. They don't even know how our relationship is. They don't know, like, what matters to us. What's the point of them being there?
yeah.
Like,
I
because you want to
yeah.
have you want to party? Like, that's not, I don't know. It just doesn't seem normal to me.
No, I think that is, like, such a, intimate moment, and, like, it's a big deal, and I feel like it should not everyone needs to have, like, really the privilege to witness that. I'm saying that in the nicest way, but it's about, like, you and your partner, right? It's not about everyone else.
Yeah, but, like, there are, like, just because I don't want you to be part of my, like, intimacy in my life, in my marriage, like, I don't want you to come to Christmas dinner either. Like, that
Yeah,
doesn't mean I don't like you or respect you. That's just,
totally.
like, relationships are different, and, like, honestly, if people don't understand that, like, I'm maybe it's because 'cause I'm, like, older, I don't really give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm
You
like,
don't.
"No, if I'm gonna
No,
offend you enough that you're gonna tell someone that I was rude because I didn't invite you to my wedding, like, that's
that's on you.
ridiculous."
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
know what I
completely
mean?
agree.
Especially for you guys, you need to be careful. Like, I'm
Yeah.
I feel like the more well-known you get and the more
Mhm.
acquaintances you get, and not in a bad way, I love acquaintances. They're great, they're fun, they're so nice to see, but, like, that doesn't grant you an invitation to come into the most intimate parts of my life. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree, and I don't know, like, okay, so right now, you're saying at this point in your life, like, if you were to redo your wedding with Ian, you would have
yeah,
cut it down to, like, 30 people, and you had, like, 80 something,
to be
correct?
honest, if listen, I'm so different now than I was 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have a wedding, period.
What?
Um,
Nothing?
no.
Really? Okay, why?
I think it's a massive waste of money,
Ugh,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
just the moments that felt so good to me in my wedding, I now have them all the time with people in my life
Mhm,
because my relationships are so much deeper. Like, I think about what was so special at my wedding. It was my vows with my husband. And honestly, him and I have those conversations all the time now. We didn't before,
mhm,
now we do. It was the closeness that I had with my dad and my mom. And I feel like all three of us have worked really hard to be really, like, vulnerable and open with each other all the time.
mhm.
My brother coming in and, like, seeing me in my dress, and he, like, gave me, like, a little necklace, like, that was so special because
So
he
cute.
was, like, showing me how much he loves me. He does that a lot now, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
He'll, like,
mhm.
send a random text now, and there's a lot of care and love that's shown that I think the wedding is supposed to, like, create an environment for that to be, and I
Yeah,
love that. I think it's great, but I just right now in my life, I don't feel like I need that. I would still do
yeah,
something, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I would obviously get married. I love the idea of being married to Ian, and I would probably still, like, have some sort of like gathering or like a trip or something with my
Mhm.
family and with his family, but like the whole like wedding, I'm just like, "Nah, I don't know."
Yeah. I know.
Listen,
I
if I
feel
had
you.
expendable income, it would probably be different because I wouldn't be thinking like it's too much money. Um, and I think the way that you're doing it is going to be very special. You just
Yeah.
need to make, especially with you, like you care so much about other people. It's actually hard for you to care about yourself. And
Yeah.
you need to be really careful because the more people that are there, the more you're going to be like, "Are you good? Like, can I do anything for you?" Like, and you're not even going to slow down and like feel your feelings and like connect with Christopher
Yeah. That's
or connect with your dad or like, like these
right.
moments are literally about you slowing down and feeling your feelings.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that when you feel like you're hosting a lot of people, especially people that you're not super comfortable with.
Right. And it's so funny too, because our therapist also said, like, the wedding is not the time to like catch up with people and
Mm-mm.
like check in with people, like someone you haven't seen in a while. Like, how are you? Like, she's like, it's not supposed to be a time where you're like catching up with
Mm-hmm.
so and so that you haven't seen in 6, 7 months. It's supposed to be like an intimate time and like feel almost easy with like the people you just love and that you're really close with.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a great way to look at it. Like, I don't want to have to like be going around and like small talk with people. I say that in the most loving way.
Well,
But
this is how annoying it is because, like, how Ian and I were gone for however long, and now
mhm,
we're back and we're running into people that we haven't seen for years. Like,
mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, what's new?" And I kind of look at them. I'm like, "What the fuck do you expect me to say to that?" Like, I'm like everything, and they're like,
Literally
"Oh," and I'm
everything.
like, "What? What do you want me to say? Do you want me to go over the last like 5 years of my life? Like, I can't."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so it's so hard to know how to socially deal with those situations,
I know.
and I just think I love like giving family time and like having time to like hang out and see them, and like that's
Mhm.
why I love holidays. I
Yeah.
love Christmas, I love Thanksgiving because I think it's like that's what it's for. But like that's not what for your wedding is. Like that this is never going to happen again. All
Right.
of these events surrounding this are never going to happen again.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even have a bridal shower because I was like, "Oh, I don't need one." But now I'm like, "Why didn't I do that?" Now I'm gonna die and I'm gonna never have gotten to have one. And like I know it's not a big deal. I'm so dramatic.
You are,
I'm
but I love you. But
I'm
like,
so
I get it.
dramatic.
I would be the same way. I'd be the
But
same
like,
fucking way.
I don't know, take advantage of this. Like
Mhm.
I just am so like in this like YOLO mentality of life lately, and I just feel like you need to just do what you want.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I love that. Okay. 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 So let me rewind. Okay. I know you're saying like, Court, I wouldn't have a wedding now if like you gave me the choice, but say like you did.
I
Okay.
would do exactly what you want to do.
Okay. So like what would you spend the most money on? The location, the food, like open bar, no open bar, that's a waste. The fucking flowers. Like what is in I know what's important. It's like the vows. And it's so wild, Mel, you say that about your vows because I didn't even know you. You guys, I met Melissa like one other time before her wedding because I just started dating Christopher and he's like, "Can I bring Courtney?" And she's like, "Sure, fuck it." And I remember your vows. This is crazy. But like, I remember a huge part of them being like, Iain was your home. And it was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know you, but I was like getting emotional listening to your vows. And that's kind of like really all I remember. But I just remember like the home piece and being
Mhm.
like, oh my God, that's
Mhm.
so, it was
But
beautiful.
this is the thing, right? Like, I mean, Ian, I think it was our last anniversary. He like gave me a card and he had printed out his vows and he was like,
Mm.
"In case you like forget, like this is still true." And I
Oh
like
my
read it
God.
and I was like, "Oh my God, like these words like are so even like 5 years later in our marriage, they're so
Mhm.
us." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything is
Aw.
just so us, and I feel like I don't know, that's just like you're gonna be the
That's
same. You're gonna
yeah.
remember, especially because like we're all gonna die at Christopher's vows. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't really. I mean, I remember dying
Chris
at Christopher's speech at my wedding, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's just like he's so
he's very
well
good. Yeah, very good
well
with his
spoken.
words. Mhm,
But if
mhm.
I were to spend what I would spend money on is 100% the way I look, my
Okay.
dress, my hair, my
Yeah,
makeup, all of that stuff, and I would make sure that I would want everyone to be staying in the same place as me. I would
okay.
want everyone to have access to good food, good coffee, good alcohol for like the 3 days, and I would just want
Mhm.
everyone to feel so blissful. Like, that's
Just, like,
all I would.
chill,
Yes.
peaceful.
I wouldn't care about flowers or, like, anything like that. I
Okay.
would want, like, the vibes to feel right. I don't think
Mhm.
flowers do that.
No.
Whatever does that for you, I would do it, but I would just want everyone to be like, the idea of, like, just people, like, running into each other and being like, "Oh, hi, what'd you do today? Oh, I did," like, just, like, so
Yeah,
comfortable, and then
yeah,
everyone, like, having a few days together before, and then, like, I don't know, I just feel like it needs
yeah.
to feel, like, so comfortable. Like, I
Mhm.
would just want everyone to be so relaxed and just so happy, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's the total vibe, like, I want, like, after even, like, talking to you, I feel I'm not gonna say where we're gonna do our wedding yet, but it is international, and it's a small group, and I know it's a lot to expect people to, like, fly internationally and, all the things, so that is why it's, like, a very small, intimate group, but I want
That's
it to
not
be, like
why. That's not why
what?
it's a small intimate group.
Well, no, that's not why,
It's a
but
small intimate group because that's how you guys want your
yeah.
lives to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, very true. No, yes, that is completely true. But I also know that I don't expect like 50 people to like just
Yeah, but Court, you can't
casually.
you can't say that because you're not inviting them to do it.
This is true. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. You're just having a very, and, like, that doesn't mean you're never gonna celebrate with other people. This is just a
Totally.
very small trip for you and your people to for you to commit to your husband. That's all it
Hmm.
is.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
You
right.
don't
And
even
it
have to call it a wedding if you don't want to. Who cares? You know what I
can be
mean?
just a little
You're just
blissful event.
committing to your
Yeah.
partner with
Yeah.
the people that you guys are closest and most comfortable around. That's all.
Yeah. And that makes me excited. Like wasn't I haven't really got like excited about wedding planning and we've been engaged for 9 months. I've been like putting it off. I'm like, "Ugh, like I don't know." Like it
Yeah.
hasn't really like excited me until I made the decision of like, okay, I'm going to go super small. It's going to be out of the country. It's going to be with like our closest friends and family and that's it. I just feel to me that just feels better.
Mhm.
And I'm, like, actually excited for it, Like, frick, I already bought my rehearsal dress this morning because of you. I'm like, "Let's go."
That's
But
gonna look
yeah,
so good on you.
oh, you killed. Okay, wait, I wanna ask you, Mel, because you said I would spend money on the way I look,
Mhm.
like hair, makeup, your dress.
Mhm.
Looking back, I thought you looked beautiful. Do you like how you looked at your wedding?
No.
Okay, why? Was it too much makeup? Was it not the right hair? Did you not feel like
Honestly,
and I
my
did
makeup was okay. I don't really care
Mhm,
about makeup, to be honest. I
mhm.
feel like as long as I look like myself, I'm, like, happy.
Yeah,
I didn't really like my hair. I felt like it felt too formal for me, and I felt like I was way too covered up. Like, when I look back, I'm like, and it's sad because it probably comes from, like, body dysmorphia that I was feeling, and, like, that what I was going through in my life, but I'm like, you should have, like, showed your body, like, you should have, like, I don't
yeah,
know. I would
yeah.
have, like, I would have for sure had more than one dress. Like,
Yeah. Was your
I
dress
did.
heavy? Because your dress was, like, beaded.
Yeah, it was heavy, but I
Explain your
liked
dress. Explain your
it.
dress, everyone.
It's just, like, fully beaded, and it was cap sleeves, so it was short sleeves, and it was just like
High neck,
high
right?
neck, yeah.
Yeah.
The back was open, but, like, I was and it was a sheath dress, which
What
I
does that mean?
wanted. It's like I guess it falls on your body.
Okay.
I didn't want, like, a poof dress. I wanted a tight dress.
Mhm.
Um, but I didn't really, like, know how to explain that. So, like, looking back, I wish I would have got like a more corseted, like, fitted, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, the sheath was very comfortable, and I loved how heavy it was because it, like, kinda, like, fell on my body, but, like, I should have shown like a snatched waist and like my like,
I know.
the shape
And
of
you
my
just
legs and stuff. Like
competed at the Olympia.
I
Like, you were, like,
know.
like, what? That was, like, 2 months after you competed, like, 8 weeks, like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I just was like so hard on myself, And
Yeah.
I also was like I still remember trying on dresses and my mom was like so sweet and she's like getting me to try on like like strapless dresses and like all these things. And the dress that my mom liked the most was actually a strapless dress. And it was like a corset. So it was like
Uh-huh.
boned and it was like bare. It looked really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want my arms and my shoulders to show in my photos. Cause I was like,
Really?
I
Yeah.
hated my muscle. Like I hated it. And now I look back,
Wow.
I'm like, that's so sad, Like that's
Yeah.
really sad. But,
Yeah.
like, it could have been worse. I still, like, think I looked pretty, and in my
Of
pictures, I'm
course.
like, "Oh my god, I look so happy," but, like,
Yeah.
I would do it differently if I did it again for sure.
Yeah. Ugh, yeah, I feel like style and just, like, things evolve and change, right? Like,
Oh,
over
yeah, for
time too,
sure.
like, you're
For
like,
sure.
maybe that
Yeah,
was
I'm I'm
time
also,
and
like,
place."
way more into, like, clothes and fashion now, whereas, like, I was back then, but not to the extent I am now, so it would obviously be different.
Totally. Okay, so what about food? Like, good food? Like, you guys had, like, a meal, which I remember being really good, and then you had, like, a donut wall too, which I remember. You had an
Mhm.
amazing cake that I don't even think you got a fucking piece of, but I had it. It was, like, right? Like, this vegan, like
Oh my god, that cake was so good. I messaged that girl earlier this year because I wanted a cake, and she was like, "I'm booked up."
no, it was like a lemon raspberry, like, very not traditional, but it was amazing.
Mhm.
Then you guys had, like, an after hour like,
Mm.
food, right? Like, what did you like, what was it? Like,
Yeah,
little snacks?
I feel like there was, like, tacos, and there might have been, like, bang bang shrimp or something like that. I honestly didn't eat. I did
You
not eat.
didn't eat.
No. I tried
Were you,
I
like,
tried
anxious or just, like, too excited
I think
or
I was excited. You know how I am.
Yeah.
I was, like, drinking and, like, I didn't really
Yes.
care.
Yeah.
Um But, like, no, I remember my food being delicious, and
Yeah.
everyone said it was delicious, and obviously that matters.
Yes. So, that mattered.
But I
How
like
you
having a sit-down dinner too. Like, I don't think everyone does that, but I would rather, like, sit and be served, like, an actual dinner, you know?
what do you mean, at, like, your wedding?
Yeah, like, some people don't have that.
They don't?
No, they'll have, like,
Really?
buffet or just, like, hors d'oeuvres or you know what I
Oh.
mean?
Okay. Do you like how you did it? Like your guys' wedding party was at the front, like on a long table, and then everyone was in little sections?
I wish we were at a round table.
Like a big, huge round table? Like
Well, I didn't
everyone?
have that many people. No, 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 just the
Oh,
wedding
you're yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I would
Yeah.
have liked to sit with my wedding party still, but, like, the fact that we were in a straight line was so stupid because I had to, like, scream down the table to, like, talk to anybody. It was
Yeah,
stupid.
you were next to like what?
Ashley and
Ian,
Ian.
Ashley, maid of honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, if I wanted to, like, talk to Christopher or talk to Saunders, I was, like, screaming over Ian when, like,
Yeah.
if we were sitting at a round table like everybody else, we would have just talked across the table, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Because I feel like that's how you really get to know each other. It's not
Yeah.
like well, you already know each other. It's your fucking bridal
No,
party, but
it's not
still.
it's you just wanna talk to people, like,
Yeah.
you just wanna chill, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. I wanna ask you about this.
Hmm.
What about and I don't really think you have them, because I know you, but I mean, I don't know. What about people who are dealing with, like, family issues for their wedding? Like, and you're like, "Make it about you." Like, you didn't really have any, like,
Oh,
you
I had
know
a lot.
You did?
Ian's parents wouldn't be in the same room.
Oh my god, I remember.
Mhm.
I didn't know then because I didn't, like, know you guys all
Yeah,
that
no,
well, but
they didn't
oh.
even I think there was a point when Ian's dad was even thinking about not coming to the wedding.
Because him and his mom are divorced and,
Yeah.
like, they haven't seen each other in, like, how many years?
Oh my god. Now they have, like, the wedding kinda broke well, no, when we bought our first house, it kinda broke the ice, but before that, it had probably been we were 20 I think we were 24 when we bought our first house. It would have been like 15 years.
What?
Yeah, they communicated like via email for like the kids, and that was it.
Oh my god. Okay, so, like,
Yeah.
how did Ian take that? Like, was he just
Well,
like, "Fuck it," were you, like, trying to help
n-
him? Like, how did that work out?
um, God bless Ian. Ian like will like avoid at all costs. You know what I mean? I
Mhm,
think his
mhm,
main objective in his entire life is to make sure that his parents don't feel uncomfortable.
mm,
So he was willing to just like let them do whatever they wanted to do to feel comfortable. And whether that, if his dad didn't want to come to the wedding, he would have been okay with it. He wouldn't have been upset. He just would have been like, I don't want my dad to be uncomfortable, you know? And
mm,
I'm the opposite. Like, I know for a fact my husband wants both his parents there.
yeah,
Um, and I don't really care. Like, I just looked at Ian's dad and his wife, and I was like, "You need to pull up your pants and like come. This is your son's fucking wedding." Like,
yeah,
and is this going to continue when we have kids? Like, this is like, I'm sorry, I'm not
yeah,
dealing with this. Like, this is so stupid. And I
wow,
said, I'm like, I will be very upset if you don't come. Like, I don't know what else to say. And I know Ian will be too. He probably will never
mhm,
say it, but I know he will be. Obviously, he came and it was
yeah,
fine. And I remember Ian took a picture with both of his parents,
God.
and he was so happy. He
Oh,
came up, he's like, "I got a picture with my mom and my dad in the same picture." And I was like, "Listen, I know like mentally like we can tell ourselves that this doesn't matter and it doesn't make a difference, but I do think emotionally as a child, you do always want like copacetic peace between your
yeah,
parents."
yeah,
And I don't know, I just think it's important for
I
parents
do
to
too.
make it about their kids. And like, I don't know. I don't have kids obviously, but I could never imagine putting my own like needs to like stay whatever comfortable above
Mhm,
theirs. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I'm
it's
also not someone that like shies away from things that are uncomfortable though. I think like
yeah,
Ian's entire family are like
they
so
just
they just ignore things that make them feel
yeah.
the tiniest bit uncomfortable, and like that's not okay, you know?
Right. I know, and I even say stuff like my parents are divorced, but like I say stuff like, "Oh, it doesn't matter, if someone doesn't want to come." But like deep down, of course, I want both like my mom and my dad to be cordial and okay in the same environment. And I remember when my parents have seen each other like they lived close when they split up, and like it was like week with my dad, week with my mom, so they would like drop us off, pick us up, so they would be like, quick like hi bye type thing. But like when I got older, they didn't like really see each other because they weren't like dropping us off, and they just didn't obviously. So when I won the Olympia, I remember after like backstage, like not backstage, like I came out from like backstage, and my mom was waiting for me and my dad was waiting for me. But they were on like two separate sides of the room, and they like wouldn't look at each other. And I'm like, okay, like talking to my dad and like running back and talking to my mom, and like they just like wouldn't like come together. Like your daughter just won something like pretty big. I was young, like, you think you maybe like would. So I'm like, can we take a picture? And I remember my dad, and it's kind of like Ian's family, like just doesn't talk about things, like suppress,
Mhm.
being like giving me a little bit of a hard time, like making it about himself.
Mhm.
Love my dad after like this big thing though. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I was getting like super emotional and pretty like flustered. And then we finally all got a picture, like my mom, my dad, my brother, and myself. And then there was like some shit that happened after. And I remember like going in the fucking, do you remember the New Orleans Mel? That like
Mhm.
the New
Mhm.
Orleans, the
Yeah.
like OG Olympia hotel, and like being in like the little like microwave rooms they have on each floor, and like bawling and like crying after I won the fucking Olympia because my parents just like couldn't like we
Yeah,
got
but
the
that
picture, but there was like bad it was like bad energy. And I'm just like, fuck me.
the
Yeah.
best things in the world could be happening to you, and if your like family unit isn't good, like it will overshadow it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. And so like even
So
I've had a talk. Yeah.
what's going to happen for your wedding?
Oh, I've had a talk with my dad, and my dad's remarried. He has I have I have a son. I have a half brother.
A
I
brother,
have a
yeah.
brother with my dad and his new wife. And like I
Uh-huh.
love my dad. I love his wife. I love my little brother. I want them all there. I love my mom. Like I don't want bad vibes. And I talk to my dad, and I think as I've gotten older, like I'm going to be 30 this year, like I'm like, come on, like we can do this. Like there's no, you know, I mean, my dad's wife and my mom have met, like they get along, like it's fine. Like we don't need to like be angry and pissed and resentful. Like let's just all come together. It's like a one-time thing. I'm your only daughter, so like
Are
I would
I
appreciate, and he can hear me.
is he gonna come?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
he's gonna come. So I'm like, I'm happy. I want my dad there.
Of
I
course.
just
Oh
said
my
like, look,
god.
I just don't want you talking about mom. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that, please. And he's like, I
Yeah.
know, I know. And I'm like, okay, we're making progress. You can hear me. This is a
I
good thing.
I
So,
I think things like this are, like, good, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I think people, like, build up things in their head, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so." Even at Ian's show in Toronto, there was, like, something between my mom and his family, and, like, his family was like, "What am I gonna do when I see my mom?" or when we see your mom, and my mom was like, "I don't give a fuck, like, I'm just gonna act normal, and it's gonna be fine." And, like, they saw each other, my mom said hello, and they said hello, and everything was fine.
fine.
And
Yeah.
sometimes when you, like, go through these situations and you realize it's not as bad as you think it is, then you
Hmm.
can be normal and you can feel
Hmm.
more comfortable.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't know, your dad is gonna be there and your stepmom and, like, your brother and, like, your mom will be there and everyone will have an amazing time, and then they'll realize it's not a huge deal.
Right. I'm like, life is too short to live with like so much anger and like
Mhm.
resentment and fucking
Mhm.
bitterness. Like, we all just need to like move on and like kind of like lead with more love. And I feel like things will they'll work out, like you said, way better than you could probably even like imagine if we just switch our perspective around the thing. Like my
Lit
dad might be building up a lot of like, oh my God, I have to be in, the same room as Debbie, my mom, whatever. But I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, it's fine. You guys are fine. Deb's cool. You're cool. Like,
Deb's so cool. Deb's,
right?
like, the best ex-wife you could ever fucking
I
ask
know.
for. Sorry.
Yeah, right? I know. I know. I love my parents. I just want
Have you told my parents yet?
no. I have because okay, listen, Mel, this just kind of like
I know, I know, I know. Well, they'll
came to
probably
like
know by the time this comes out. I don't think they listen to this.
maybe, but if they do, like I need to get on a call with them and
They're
talk
gonna
to
be
them.
so happy.
They will?
I think they're gonna be fucking stoked, and I think they're gonna have, like, the best time of their life.
I
Like,
do too.
this is gonna be amazing for them, you understand that, right? I even said to Ian, I, like, looked at him, I'm like, "Oh my god, I get to go," like, I've never been anywhere like that before,
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
like, he's like, "Yeah, we can do stuff after, and we can have, like, a nice trip," and I'm like, "It's just gonna be everyone's gonna be so stoked, it's just
I
gonna be
know.
beautiful."
I know. That I completely agree. And also like it's a good excuse like for people to like get over there, especially like your parents. Like they've been wanting to go over to
Yes,
that side of
yes,
the
yes,
world
yes.
and like they haven't been able to or just like work, but now it's like, okay, you have to. Like
Mhm.
we're forcing you to. And then you
Yeah.
can like go explore after or go to another country or
Mhm.
whatever. And like I don't know. I think that will be great for them. And I hope they're excited, especially because it's gonna be small and like just like family and like good food and good
Mhm.
vibes and like just like beautiful energy. I feel like they're
Mhm.
gonna like your mom's gonna like fucking love it. Like
Mhm.
for sure. I think like,
Yep.
your dad just loves anything your mom loves. He's
I
like
know, my
along for
dad's
the
just
ride.
so chill. It's gonna be
Yeah,
so fun.
I know. But I'm like, I like still need to like lock down. Like, okay, got the location. Mel knows. You guys will know soon. But I need to like lock down a venue, which I've been like, fucking going back and forth and like trying to figure some things out. Um, the date, because this also like falls around like when Christopher and Ian have to compete in the
I
Olympia.
have to tell you, Ian has a show in April.
Wait, before, before, or at the
Well, I d
when? Tell me, I'll work
it
around it.
it's on the 21st, I think.
Okay, so like the last week of April or beginning of May.
It's the second last weekend of April.
Okay. Okay, okay, so, like, the last weekend of April would be, like, okay, or,
That
like,
would be
beginning
honestly,
of
that
May?
would yeah, that would be
Okay,
ideal
okay. Mm,
because he likes to, like, relax and let loose after a show, so he can
right.
we would literally just, like, hop on a plane and just start
Yeah,
the
give your
party, you know?
body a break, like, just
Yeah.
chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where Ian, like, is good with that after a show, where Christopher really doesn't like he likes to relax, but he does not
No.
like to travel, he does not wanna drink, he does not wanna eat shitty, he has to go, like, pretty slow or else his body, like, fucking
Yeah, but
balloons and
he knows his body well, that's
right.
why. Ian
Yeah.
can, like, do anything in his body, is like, I mean, knock on wood, you know?
Literally, yeah. You guys both are kind of like freaks in that aspect. And like Chris and I are like, it was so funny, Mel in fucking Tennessee. Someone like asked Ian and Chris a question. And I think it was about like a fucking like if they were to fight like a wrestling match or something. And Chris first like, no. Ian's like a brick that like fucking nothing ever happens to him. And I'm like a feather. And like I sleep wrong and like I'm ruined the whole day because my neck's fucked up. Like I can't like see
They
straight and I'm like always broken.
they did wrestle once and Ian almost fucking killed him.
It's when, like, I've heard this story. It's when, like, you guys were out drinking,
We
right?
were so drunk and
Explain the story.
Christopher
Tell the
okay,
story.
okay, so we had gone out to the bar and Ian and I had a condo in Stittsville. So we went to the bar in Canada. We took an Uber back to the condo and like we're all like hammered and I cooked them like craft dinner or something. And they're sitting on like the island and I'm like standing in the kitchen and they're eating and Ian kind of is like falling asleep on the counter and Christopher just starts like fucking with him like whispering in his ear, blowing in his ear, like twirling with his hair and Ian was getting so he's like fuck off and then like I came over and started doing it too and it was so funny and then I'm pretty sure Ian like woke up and just like fucking body slammed Christopher onto the ground and they were just like
No.
yes and Christopher was just when Christopher's drinking he's laughing and when he like gets
He's a
drunk and he
goof.
laughs and his one eye shuts and he's just like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's so drunk and then Ian like was like so mad. He's like, "You guys are so fucking annoying." Da, 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 da.
And it was
And
like you
then,
two, like siblings ganging
oh
up.
my god, we were
Oh my
laughing
god.
so hard. Ian gets up, goes into my bedroom. We only have one bed in this condo, by the way. He goes into the bedroom, locks the door, and locks me out.
So what? You're sleeping on the fucking couch?
Well, Ian locked the door, fell asleep, and then I slept on the couch, and Christopher slept on the floor beside
Oh
the
my
couch.
god.
So Ian wakes up in the morning. Christopher's asleep on the floor. I'm asleep on the couch, and Ian's like, "Why the fuck are you out here?" I'm like, "You locked me
You
out,"
oh
and
my
he
god.
couldn't even remember. It was so oh
Stop.
my god, it was so funny. Christopher and Ian drinking together is probably the best memories of my life. Like they're
They're kind of
so
like
funny.
like are they're a little bit like they're different
Well,
vibes when they
no,
drink, right? Or
they're
no?
the same vibe,
They're the
and then, like
same.
oh my god, they're the same. They both, like, go well, Christopher used to. I feel like he
Yeah.
hasn't in years. He both balls to the wall. Like, shots, 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 just, like
Christopher will, but he has to, like, commit, where Ian's like, "Oh, sure, we'll d" like, Christopher has to, like, "No, okay, this
he
weekend
has to
I'm going out
prepare.
and I'm gonna have to,
Yeah.
like, drink." So, where it's more of a mental thing, like, he has to
Yes.
prepare, where Ian's like, "Oh, fuck it, we're here. Oh, Mel, we're at a restaurant together alone. We'll just" no, I mean, maybe that has happened, but, like, I feel like Ian's more that type, where he's just like,
I also
"Whatever."
feel like I don't know, maybe it's just because of how no, I don't know. I feel like if like we go out to dinner and like I get drunk, I just feel like Ian's drunk too, even though he's not drinking. You know what I mean? I just he's just like so easy to be around. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
sometimes if you're the only one drinking and you're with other people, you're like, "Oh, this is weird." But
yeah,
I sometimes I forget that Ian's sober when I'm drinking. It's like
yeah,
really weird.
yeah. Oh my god, it was so funny. We were, like, in Tennessee, you probably know, but fucking, Ian we go out to this, like, bar after, like, we all ate, and he was just there. He's like, "Ah, fuck this. I'm gonna" and he didn't drink or anything. He's like, "I'm
Oh
gonna
no.
take a go-kart" not a go-kart, one of those
A
scooters,
scooter. Yeah.
back home. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Christopher's like, "Could you imagine the people just seeing this, like, 300-pound guy, like, scootering on his way back home, like, in the middle of freaking Nashville, Tennessee?" I was dying. I'm like, "Oh my god, have fun, Ian." Yeah, he just
Yeah,
kinda, like
he
and he
called me
wasn't
the
even
next
drunk. He wasn't even drinking. He was just, like,
no,
being
he
goofy and,
called
like, scootered
he
off.
he called me the next morning. He's like, "We went to a bar and we're all" he's like, "Everyone was just standing around." I'm like, What do you mean? Like standing around? Like doing what? He's like, they're just standing around talking. I'm like, what else do you do when you're at a bar, Iain? Like, and he was like, I don't know, but I was bored. So I was just like, I'm going to take a scooter home. And I'm like,
Literally within
okay.
2 minutes. Within 2 minutes. Oh my god, it was great.
Oh,
But, yeah,
he's
hopefully
so
they won't
cute.
have, like, a body slam fight at the wedding, and it will be, like,
Hopefully they
lovey.
do.
Hopefully yeah, like, I kinda more hope that, like, they have, like, lovey brother time and they, like, cry, over, like, slam each other, but whatever
Well,
happens will
maybe they
happen.
could do both. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Whatever they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was
Um,
also one night we were pre-drinking at Ian's house and we were going to Crazy Horse. I think it might have been Ian's birthday and Christopher was there. And I don't even know what happened to him, but by like 8 o'clock, Christopher was like hammered. Like he could barely walk, he could barely speak. And we're like calling
about to
cabs, like,
go out.
yeah. And I look at him, I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't come. Like, you're gonna ruin our night. Like, you won't get in the bar. And he was like,
No.
I can come. I'm like, no, 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 you're gonna go to sleep. So I go and I put him into bed.
God.
And we go to the bar. We come back at 3 in the morning. We walk in the house. Christopher's just sitting at the kitchen table,
What?
just sitting there,
On
like
his
just
phone? Nothing,
nope,
just sitting.
nope, just sitting there staring.
What a
I'm like,
little weirdo.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, where did you guys go? I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, he was so fun when he was like 17, 18, 19. Oh my god, he was wild.
Of course, because he was like a baby and you're like in your mid how old were you? If he was like 18, you were like, what, 23?
Yeah, yeah.
You're kinda
I
like, not ma you're still young, but you're
Well,
older than a teenager.
I knew how to drink, I knew how to
Yeah.
party, you know what I mean? Like, Ian had money, like, it was just, like, whatever, but I still remember one night I was sleeping at mom and dad's house, and, all I hear is, like, knock on the window because we lived in a bungalow, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "What the fuck?" And I just kind of ignored it and go back to sleep, and then I hear, like, more, and then my phone starts ringing, and I see that it's one of Christopher's friends calling me. And I'm like, what the hell? So I pick it up and they're like, we're at your window. And I was like,
Stop.
so I open the curtain.
Was he
I'm
there?
like, no, it was just the two of them. They're on bikes.
Wait, Christopher and a friend.
No, just his two friends.
What? Were they
And
trying
I'm
to
like,
hit on the older sister?
no, 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 no. No one ever hit on me. Ever, ever, ever.
Yeah, you're too scary.
I,
No, no.
I was like, what's going on? And they're like, you need to come. Like, Christopher's throwing up. He can't, like, he's not okay. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you need to come. So I got in my car. I followed these two. It's like 1 in the morning. I followed these two kids on their bikes, like down the street to some house. And I go in to the house and Christopher's in, in the bathroom. Matt Paolini is, I think he's sitting in the shower and Christopher is just throwing up in the toilet, like so much
No.
vomit. And then so I walk in and it's like a bunch of drunk teenagers. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Christopher. And he like looks up at me from the toilet. He's like, Melissa? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, your friends came to get me because they're worried about you. He's like, I'm really fucked up.
Come on, little guy, let's go. Oh my god, Mel.
Oh,
Oh,
so cute. So
the
cute.
best, like, the good days. Like, those are, like, days where you're just very, like, carefree and, like
I feel like you just have no responsibilities,
yeah,
so you just don't
yeah,
really have anxiety about anything. You're just like
nothing.
like we were so privileged, you know what I mean? You could just like
Yeah,
make mistakes and like you'd be okay. And it was just like, I don't know, it's so fun growing up.
yeah. I know, you look back and like, it really does go fast though, time.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like,
Mm-hmm.
wild, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, holy shit, like, I feel like the older I've gotten, I've actually now experienced that because you always hear it, like, when you're younger, like, "Oh, just wait till you're this age," or "Just wait till you have kids," or "You'll be my age before you know it." Like, my mom and dad would say that. I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, okay." But now I'm like, "Wow, like, time is
I know.
flying."
I know. I was thinking about it too this morning when I was walking because I was like, you're lucky that you're like, you'll be 30 when you get married,
Yeah,
but you almost have a different perspective and you
yeah.
also have so many people that you can pull from in your life that have already done it, that have
Mm,
learned from their mistakes.
yeah.
And I feel like I was so obsessed with getting married when I was so young, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now that I look back at it, I'm like, shoot, I kind of wish I would have waited. Like I wish
Really?
I loved when I got engaged because by the time I was like I wanted to be engaged. We had been living together and together for like 5 years. But
Yes.
like, I feel like I would have prolonged my engagement a little bit longer if I could have, you
How
know?
long were you engaged for?
Only like a little under a year.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think we booked our venue like the month after we got engaged.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, like like it was probably like what, 10, 11 months ish? Like you were engaged before you got married?
Yeah. 11 months.
Yeah, where I'm like like going on month 10 of being engaged. Like next
Mm-hmm.
month will be like 10 months. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm now just starting to plan. But I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, like I hear that a lot too. Like, oh, I wish. But there's some people, like my cousin got engaged in December and she booked her venue like right away. She's getting married like next summer. Like it was very, very fast. It was like boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom. She knew exactly like the place she wanted to get married. She knows what she wants to wear. She's very like,
Mm-hmm.
get shit done. I'm not really like that. I'm like, nah, we'll just fucking like let life play out and we'll kind of see how this goes. But I do hear that a lot too. Like, oh, enjoy your engagement. It goes fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
being engaged is like its own experience in itself. And then
Mm-hmm.
like being committed and being married to someone is like, well, you're committed when you're obviously engaged or dating someone, but like the next level of
Mm-hmm.
commitment, like that's a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
experience, but like enjoy the engagement. And I just, yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been really
Yeah.
fun. So,
Yeah.
but now
I
I'm like
loved
ready.
being engaged.
Like, let's plan. Let's do this. I
Let's
need to.
plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But last weekend of April, the second weekend, excuse me, he can't.
Second last weekend of April is his show next year.
What is he doing?
I think it's Fouad's holding a pro show. It's
Oh, in
called
Canada.
no, in Detroit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Detroit Pro, I think he's calling it.
Oh,
But yeah, Ian's obviously going to do Fouad's show. You know,
yeah. That's exciting.
we're going down to Windsor next week, and we're staying at Fouad's house.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's Windsor? Is that
Oh my
west
God,
coast? Or-
it's past Toronto. It's like 8 hours away.
Oh, fuck. Oh, it's past Toronto the other
Mm-hmm.
way.
I think so. I don't really know. I have no idea. I
Wow.
don't know
I think I've
geography.
heard of Windsor.
It's close to Detroit. It's like close
Oh,
to the border there.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's I'm excited for that. And Ian's very excited.
So what are you guys doing there? Just like
I
hanging
think we're
out?
just hanging out. I feel like
Aw.
Ian or no, Fouad has a natural show there. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure he wants to like party. I don't know. I don't
Well, you're
know.
like, Mel's like, all right, sure.
I yeah,
Sign me up.
I think Fouad likes to party, to be honest. So
Okay.
and I really hope that I get to like party with his wife. I haven't really got to hang out with her very much.
No,
So
you've met her
yeah.
though.
Yeah, she's very
Yeah.
nice. She's
Yeah.
very nice.
That'll be fun. That's good. And then
Mhm.
Ian's family's in town this weekend, or
His
what do you
sister's
guys?
here.
Sister.
Yeah, his sister's here for I think almost 2 weeks. So
Oh,
she's coming over tonight.
oh, fun.
Yeah,
Good.
she's ditching her child and coming over.
Yesterday, I literally saw a reel, and it was of a man speaking
Uh-huh.
about how he has a baby, um, and he was talking about like how it's like the most fulfilling thing in his life, but the hardest thing he had to give up, and this is so big for you, Mel, was that's the word, you know what I'm going to say, was his freedom to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it without having like, oh, I got to find a sitter, I got to have this like you can like get up, go on a walk, go to the gym, go to appointments, go do XYZ with your
Mhm.
husband, work like all on your own schedule.
Mhm.
And while he was saying like this is the most like rewarding, fulfilling thing I've
Mhm.
ever had in my life. It was a man
Mhm.
saying this. He's like, I will say, he's like, I'm not going to bullshit. It takes away a lot of freedom to do. And he goes, and I am the type of person to do things when I want to do them on my own fucking time. And you have a child, which is amazing, but you just can't do that, unless you
Yeah.
have the luxury of like, I don't know, hiring a full-time staff nanny, this, that, and the other, which I don't think, I mean, no hate to anyone who does that and like who has that. I think help is like key. But and if you don't have help, like doing it on your own, like fucking hats off to you. That is probably like I think the hardest job in the world. Um, but yeah, the freedom aspect. I still even struggle with that. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's like a convenience to just having to take care of yourself that's like goes out the window for probably the rest of your life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know, you really have to be ready. The older we get, and even when we went and did like the fertility testing and stuff, we kind
Yeah.
of like looked at each other after and I was like, would you like, let's say we try and nothing happens. Like, would you want me to take the hormones? Would you want to do IUI? Would you want to do IVF? And he was like, I don't know. Would you? And I was like, I don't really think so. Like,
No, you wouldn't, huh?
I don't know. Part of me kind of just feels like you should like trust what's happening in nature and in your body and in the world and just kind of like, I don't know, bloom where you're planted and
Yeah.
like do what you should do. I don't know. I'm not, I it's easy to say now because I haven't like gotten to that place
Right.
yet, but like I think there's like different paths for my life that like are all going to lead to a beautiful, fulfilling life. I don't
Right.
feel like I need to like force one way anymore. And I feel like
Yeah.
I used to really think that like I want to do this and I want to live here and I want to have a house like this and I want to travel here and now I'm kind of just like you don't have to like have those things to be happy. Like
No.
you just have to choose to be happy, you
Yeah.
know?
And I feel like life becomes so much more peaceful when you just live like that rather than trying to like
Yeah.
force, control, like change
Yeah.
constantly. Like I don't know, I feel like you're not even actually living in your body. You're just kind of living like in this external like world all the time. You know? And
Yeah.
honestly, like when you were saying that about like the IVF and stuff, I know a lot of people don't like these girls, but I mean, the fucking Kardashians. Like I remember watching Courtney and Travis like going through like the egg retrieval thing, like doing she was
Mhm.
doing all these shots. I remember like in the episode she was like gaining all this weight and like it was really hard and she was going to all these
Mhm.
like holistic clinics and IVF and doing all of the things. And then she
Mhm.
was like, I'm done. Like I'm just not gonna we're just not gonna try anymore. Maybe it's just like not in the cards for like Travis and I. And then I think she's like 44 and like just got pregnant. I don't
Now
know.
she's
Again,
pregnant.
yeah, literally, she's like, I stopped trying and like things just happen as they should, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that too, you know? But I
Yeah.
get it. Like if you're at a certain age and you're like, okay, like no, I need to take progesterone or I need to do something to help,
Mhm.
like by
Mhm.
all means, for sure. But I like what you're like where you're at, where you're just kind of like, nah, just kind of letting things flow and seeing
Yeah.
like where we fall. And
Do you know
yeah,
how
I love
this really came up for me? I was watching a reel of do you know who Shay Mitchell is?
yes.
So
Yes, Pretty Little
she
Liars.
yeah, yeah. She was on a podcast, I think. Listen, it was just a clip, like a reel. It was
Mhm,
10
mhm.
seconds. And she said something like if listen, if you can like if you can come into my relationship and take my man, you can have him. Like good for
Ooh,
you. And
shit.
I kind of was thinking for a second, I'm like, wow, like I'm like I think it's subconscious, to be honest. This is getting I don't know if I'm going to cut this out because this is deep
It's
for me to
okay.
say.
Yeah.
But I feel like subconsciously I try to be desirable for my husband. You know what I mean?
Fuck
I
yeah.
try to
I
be
do too.
fit, I try to be hot, I try to be sexy, I try to um give him good sex whenever he wants it. I try to be easygoing. I try to not ask him to do things he might not want to do. I like all these things.
Uh,
And in my mind, I think, no, I think that's going to keep him from straying,
mm,
you know? If some woman
mm.
comes up to him and like gives him some attention, he's not going to like receive it or reciprocate because he's like I'm Miss Perfect Wife. And I kind of
Yeah.
I had a huge realization. I'm like, this has nothing to do with me. I can be the hottest,
Yep.
funniest, chillest, best sex, coolest wife ever. it's not gonna matter. It has nothing
It's
to do
not.
with me.
Nope.
And I kind of was just like, yeah, you know what? If you can come in and and he likes you and he wants attention from you and you can take my man, I feel the same. You can have him at this point. And
I
I don't think it has anything to do with me. And I actually just I just had this it felt like a million pounds came off my shoulders. I
free.
can't
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I low key think you should leave this in because I think this is very relatable. And honestly, like I even feel this way. And I think a lot of women, they feel like if they look better or do more or don't ask for too much or just like
Mm,
embody this type of like ideal woman, that a man will
mhm,
never leave or never look anywhere else or
mhm,
never, cheat. I
mhm,
don't know, whatever it is. But like
mhm,
at the end of the day, like you just said, it has literally nothing to do with you and everything to
mm-mm,
do with them. And
mhm.
that reel is like, ooh, that like fucking that hits because I agree. I completely agree. Like I'm like, oh good. Then, it was never meant I want to believe in this like meant to be thing. It just wasn't supposed to be anyway, you know?
Well,
Like,
I just don't want it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I'm just,
yeah.
of the mindset, I'm like, I know my worth and, I don't know, I just don't wanna worry about shit like that anymore.
Remember when I fucking texted you when I was in Jupiter? And for all of you Bachelor fans, do you
Oh,
remember I texted you
yes.
this? You
Oh,
guys,
yes.
so I saw this like good looking guy with a very beautiful girl. They were coming out of a gym. I was in the fucking Whole Foods parking lot. Where else would I be? And Melissa, Melissa loves The Bachelor, Bachelorette. Like she's like a little like, you're a little like, you love your reality TV. I
I
love
was
it.
gonna
And
say
she
I'm a reality TV whore.
yeah, I was gonna say that too. But I like didn't want to say that, But she is, and it's okay. We love her for that. But she like will suck me in when I'm with her, and like she's like, we're watching the fucking Bachelor. I'm like, okay. But this guy got super famous. I will say his name. And like a lot of girls admire him. And I saw him.
He's
I was like,
hot
oh
as fuck, though. He's,
shit.
so good
Okay,
looking.
drop the name. And I texted Melissa immediately because I know she like low key loves him. Her
Oh
and her
my god.
best friend are like obsessed
Okay,
back
no,
home.
Ashley isn't even obsessed with him.
Really? I thought Ashley liked him too.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It's just Mel.
Ashley really liked Nick Viall, and I never liked him. And
Okay.
I honestly I've watched The Bachelor. I don't watch it anymore. I feel like it's so bad, but I used to watch it all the time, especially with Ashley. And I've never really had anyone on there that I thought was hot. There was one bachelor called Chris Soules, and he was
Okay.
like a farmer
Ooh.
from the South, and he
Yeah.
was manly. And I remember being
Yeah.
like, okay, this is more my speed. He's okay.
Yeah.
But then Tyler Cameron came on, and I was like,
Tyler
ugh,
Cameron.
like his personality, his height, the way his face looked, I just thought he was stunning. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this guy is so. It was the first time that I'd ever been looked at Ashley and been like, okay, I like this guy is my speed, you know? And Courtney saw him in person and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna drive to Jupiter right now just so I
Literally,
can
I saw, but I texted Melissa immediately. But like, okay, like I'm not like right, like looking for a hot guy, but I saw one. I was like, oh, this guy's good looking. Oh fuck, it's Tyler Cameron. Mel, Tyler Cameron's in Jupiter right now. But yeah, or like on TV shows, like I love Yellowstone. I think
mm-hmm,
Rip,
mm-hmm.
manly man, little scruffy farmer boy, whatever the fuck he is, rancher. I'm like, ooh, Rip, yes. It's a
Yeah,
character,
but
whatever. I freaking think he's hot.
have you ever been at the gym or something and been noticed a good looking man?
Yeah, for sure. For
See,
sure.
I don't know if I ever have.
Okay. Ever.
Just because I really don't think I've ever seen someone that would even catch my eye.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I was getting my lashes done 2 days ago and they had a smoke alarm going off and they couldn't find it. So they
Okay.
actually called 911 and
Okay.
said it was non-emergent, but they needed someone to come find the smoke alarm and turn it off. And the fire truck showed up and oh my God, one of these firemen was stunning. Like and he's obviously wearing a uniform, which
Yeah.
I'm a fucking sucker for a man in uniform. Game over, you know what I mean? Um and I I took a double take and I'm like, and then I'm paying and I'm looking at him and I'm looking at the girl and she's like, "Oh yeah, you saw him too." And I'm like, "Okay, so this is just a very beautiful human that like every
Yes.
in a uniform that everyone would look at." And I
Yeah.
truly believe that there are multiple girls that I see a day that are like that too.
Oh my
And I don't
god.
and
More
I
yeah.
I'll stop and look because I'm like, "Damn, like they're extremely fit. They're stunning, like
Yeah.
beautiful, like
Yeah.
clothes,
Yeah.
makeup, hair, whatever." And like, I don't know, I don't think it's like I used to get so sad if like I would see my husband looking at them too, but that
Yeah.
now I'm kind of just like, no, you're right. They're beautiful, you know?"
Yeah. Yeah. I respect that. Like, I've had my insecure moments for sure. For sure. But I think like when it's just like human nature, or when I can also like when we're watching a show, I'm like, oh my God, that girl's like really pretty. Christopher Big, yeah. Like she's good looking girl. You know, I don't
Mhm.
feel like like a fucking psycho, but
Yeah, but what if Christopher was like, "Oh yeah, she's sexy."
oh fuck no. No, 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 no. It depends. I mean, okay, can we tone it down? Like, she's hot, but like, is she sexy? Like,
No, but
come
wait,
on.
if he said she's hot, would you be okay with that?
I mean, yeah. Like, what am I thinking? Am I fucking delusional that I'd be able to be like, whatever fucking good looking chick? No, like, there's many
Yeah, but this
beautiful, way more beautiful women in the world. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, fuck. Like, I can't. I'm not living in delusion up in here.
yeah, but listen, it's funny because my husband and I'm sure Christopher, he's very careful with his choice of words. You know what I mean?
Ian
Like
is too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he'll be like, "Oh yeah, she's good looking. Yeah, she's
For sure.
attractive." But he's never
Yes.
going to be like, "Oh yeah, she's hot as fuck." Like he
No.
you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
he wouldn't even I don't even think he would say she's hot unless I said it first. Like it's always
Yes.
like she's attractive or she's yeah, that's a good looking person. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
I agree. And Christopher's kind of the same way. Like, unless I say it,
Yeah.
then like then he'll be like, yeah, 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 you know. But other than that, like, and here's the thing. Actually, I think I would prefer if he used the word like sexy over beautiful. Like, I feel like beautiful is like a more like, you know, me and my little corniness. Like, I like it's like more intimate and like lovey. I'm like, ooh, beautiful. But like sexy is like, oh, yeah, she's sexy. She's like hot. Or like she's beautiful. Like, use the fucking word hot, not beautiful. Or you just
Beautiful is reserved for me.
yes. No. But I mean,
Oh,
come on. Like, yeah, you're right. It's life. Like, it's human nature too. So, yeah, if you just live in a bubble of like, no, they'll never look at anyone and they can't, and it's just like not real life, you know? It's
no,
just
it's
not.
irrational. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
not
it's not
normal.
reality.
This was
Okay, well,
great talk.
yeah, it
Um,
was. It was actually really fun. I had a good
yeah, it
time.
was. Me too, Mel. You guys, we will see you next Wednesday. Um, comment any wedding details
Well, no,
below.
Courtney's gonna do a solo episode.
Oh yeah, fuck, I am. All right. You're right. You're right. I'm gonna do a. You can you maybe edit it for me if I
Oh, I'll
do
edit it for sure. But you guys, Courtney's solo episode, what do you want her to talk about? Do you want her
okay.
to talk about digestion, gut? Do you want her to talk about training and being fit? Do you want her to talk about getting married? Do you want her to talk about her relationship with Christopher? Do you want her to talk about, I don't know, anything?
Anything. I could put a
Just
Q&A box too on my Instagram
yeah,
or comment
comment
below on
below
YouTube.
and
Yeah,
then she'll do that and then yeah, it'll be
we'll be
great.
in for the next Wednesday. Okay, love you guys. Love you, Mel. It's been fun. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
And yeah, boo. Thanks for my dress this morning. Hooked it up, girl.
Yeah, I hope it
Ooh.
looks as good on you as I think it will.
Thanks, boo. Love you.
Okay.
Okay,
Love
bye
you.
guys.
Bye.
See you next time.